The Top Gear Hilux, the indestructible pickup truck. It was crashed into a tree, drowned in the sea, and even dropped from a set of flats, and yet it kept on trucking. And today, we're getting exclusive, up-close access to this legendary vehicle. And uncover bits of its history that none of you will have seen before. We are at the Grampian Transport Museum in the Highlands of Scotland. They have loads of cool stuff. Like this, and this. But what we're really here for is this lot. You may have seen in the news last year that the Top Gear exhibition at the Beaulieu Motor Museum was closing, and the future of the cars became uncertain. There were chats of them being sold off, even completely scrapped due to liability issues. But the folks here at the Grampian Motor Museum swung in and nabbed a bunch of the cars. They have the XJS train, a whole bunch of amphibious vehicles, the Hammerhead Eagle Eye Thrust, a couple of others, and then there's the main focus of today's video, the Hilux. To not do a disservice to the other Top Gear cars in here, we're going to do a very quick 10-second review of each one, starting with the P45. I'll just lower this down. Do you know what? It's actually been really well done. I could genuinely imagine driving this thing. The one thing I don't get though is I'm 5'10" and I fit perfectly. Clarkson is 6'5", so he's 7 inches taller than me. How on earth did he fit in this thing? The Rambulance, actually a bit of a minter on the outside, but once you're in, it's pretty terrifying. Her name is Barbara. She's made of plastic bags full of paper, and that's an actual IV that's stuck into her arm. That's real. This car's been heavily modified to turn it into an ambulance. Some of the metalwork in here is serious. The Lotus campervan, a surprising amount of space in there. Apparently when it turned up though, it had half a bottle of HP sauce in the back. 20 years old. Minging. Also, spam. The Hammerhead Eagle Eye Thrust, one of the coolest captain chairs going, but the amount of scraggy cut sheet metal kicking about is quite alarming. There is a tape in here. Belinda Carlisle. The TG V12, probably my favourite car in the entire collection. V12 Jag and Train. Hell yeah. 3 of the 6 amphibious cars. The mast on this is way taller than I expected it to be. And in here, you will not believe the amount of expanding foam. Ruined. Not only can you come up here to the Grampian Transport Museum and see all of these cars in the flesh, but they're also doing another really cool thing. You can adopt one of these cars like you would a tiger or panda in the wild. You can get your name on a little plinth on the car saying that you've adopted it. I'm gonna adopt the TG V12. Get this date in your diary, folks. August the 30th, 2025, DRIVETRIBE Live at Bicester Heritage. If you want to meet Richard and the rest of the DRIVETRIBE team, get your tickets through the link in the description below. The Grampian Transport Museum is an absolute treasure trove of vehicles. And when I first arrived here, I didn't really know what was going to be here. So I went upstairs, had a look around, and my God, did something catch my eye. This is my laptop wallpaper. That is a 2001 Jaguar R2 Formula 1 car driven by Eddie Irvine, number 18. That is a Jaguar R2 from 2001 driven by Eddie Irvine, this actual chassis. I literally couldn't believe it. This is my ultimate car. This is literally every morning I open this laptop to work for DRIVETRIBE and that's staring back at me. And here it is. It's on loan from the Jaguar Daimler Heritage Trust that we filmed in before. It is, by far and away, in my opinion, the best looking F1 car of all time. Being a Jag man, I'm in love with it. And it had a 3-litre V10 engine. 18,000, 19,000 RPM. What an era. Cool place. Jeremy's aim with this piece was to essentially do the original durability test. Could he put this Hilux through enough shit to kill it off? You could say the way modern YouTube has gone, that without this episode in Series 3, there could be no Whistling Diesel. He dragged it out of a farmyard and attempted to end its life. He sent it down some stairs in Bristol, clouted a wall, drove it quite hard into a tree, drowned it in seawater where it spent 5 hours fully submerged, set it alight to burn overnight, and yet it somehow came back kicking. It was then placed on top of a tower block that was then blown up, and it still made it out of the rubble under its own power. Having seen this car up on a plinth during the latter Top Gears, I didn't think it would be quite as bad as this. It is bad. Really bad. Like really, really bad all over this vehicle. And today we have full access to it. I can get into it, I can get up close and personal to any part of this vehicle. How bad is it after 20 years? Is there any hope for this Hilux? Let's get stuck in. We all want to watch old school Top Gear, but if you live outside the UK or are from the UK and are abroad, it could be blocked. But today's video sponsor, Surfshark, is here to help. Surfshark is a VPN or virtual private network, and it's the perfect tool to tune in to some nostalgic Top Gear episodes on BBC iPlayer. If you're in a country where a series is blocked, you simply select a UK server and you'll be able to watch every single episode the trio ever made. Surfshark can also give you data breach alerts where it'll notify you the moment your email, ID, credit card or other personal data gets leaked online. It even has a search engine that is ad-free, meaning you can browse to your heart's content without any digital footprint. Or you can opt for Surfshark One, a cybersecurity bundle for all-over protection, taking the best bits of their VPN product. For you DRIVETRIBE viewers, we have an exclusive offer where you will get 4 extra months free by visiting surfshark.com/DRIVETRIBE or through clicking the link in the description below or through scanning the QR code on screen now. Using Surfshark is also completely risk-free as they offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. So get yourself a VPN, watch the heyday of the trio, and thanks to Surfshark for sponsoring today's video. I'm gonna come at this almost with my cog score mentality. So let's start with exterior. It has bodywork, but only just. A combination of wrecking ball, salt water, fire. There's multiple enormous holes in this vehicle. Starting here, it basically doesn't have a rear left wheel arch. There's literally nothing left. It's been stoved, it's been corroded, and God knows what else. Chatting to the curators, one of the main things they think has happened in terms of this car's damage is it being rolled out of the rubble after the tower block fell. They were so rough with it, and we'll get to where the worst damage of that has happened, but it's completely torn open. It's a tin can that has just been ripped to pieces here. The bed has totally buckled. Oh wow, there's really not much structural rigidity in that at all. It's completely come away from the back here. That's held on by, I don't know what, hope? My God, this thing is really, I don't know, maybe I should have come into it expecting it to be like this, but it's shocking to see it in person. The door is completely misshapen. Look at this here, the radius on that has gone completely askew. It doesn't even remotely match the aperture. Does it open? Tugging on the door nearly makes the rear of the vehicle fall off. I'm determined to get into this vehicle, but I might need to climb in through the window and I'm going to get covered in lots of burnt car interior. Again, enormous hole. I mean, the rust on it is like nothing I've ever seen. There is some organic matter here. That is moss. I don't know what location in the UK that is from, but there's something growing in there. This front wing, not actually that bad in the grand scheme of things. It still exists, it still looks like a front wing. Smashed light and there's a big rust hole appearing there, but grand scheme of things, bit of a mint front left. The bonnet, I'm not going to open it yet, because we'll get to mechanicals in a bit, but it is battered. The wrecking ball has kicked the crap out of it. And again, I imagine tumbling out of the rubble has just dented that beyond belief. I can't believe it's still attached. I can see in the side, the hinges are still attached to it. It will open. This front wing is not doing as well as the other. It has been crimped beyond belief. That front suspension doesn't look like it's attached. absolutely battered. It still has a wheel arch liner, so that's good. It looks like it's just made of paper. This is the biggest wrecking ball hit. Look at that. That is completely stoved in. The door should be here. So that's been stoved in at about half a foot. There's no way this one's opening. Nope. Yeah, and I'm not going to be able to get through that window. So the main damage caused by tractoring it out of the building is this. The A-pillars, both sides, are completely mashed. Look at that. It's actually completely separated from the rest of the vehicle. It's just hanging on down here from tumbling and the entire weight of the vehicle going on the front here. Look at how the roof has completely bowed down, curling into the cabin. No windscreen, that almost happened immediately. Looking down the middle of the truck, the divide between the cab and the bed, you can actually see the whole thing is trying to split itself apart. So much so that there's been reinforcements welded in at some point on both sides up the top here to try and keep the truck together. Even that has started to corrode. I reckon this truck is this far from just going right. Then coming to the background here, here's the fuel filler. Is it? Oh, it is still intact. It's, well, the fuel filler, it's separated. Oh wait, is it just floating? Okay, yes. It doesn't look like this car has a fuel tank. So in terms of starting it up, it will need another one of them. So this is barely hanging on, right? Is that zip tied in place? Who knows? And again, the rear wheel arch on this side as well barely exists. This is just about the top of it, but it's all been crimped upwards. It's all been compressed up. This is a tough vehicle, but what they put it through is just savage. Then right at the back, this corner's doing a bit better. This is much more solid. There's a hinge here. Yeah, that's probably not going to open. Broken lights. Without the front bumper and badges, there's nothing really that could show it's a Toyota, but at least at the back here, there it is. Anyone who knows a Hilux will still be able to vaguely recognize that this is one of them. I can't wait to get underneath. I reckon it's going to be absolutely savage in there. But to be fair, it's a pickup truck and it's still got what looks like a fairly okay bed. It's got some fairly severe lumps in it, so God knows what's happening in the metalwork underneath it. But it's there. You could throw stuff in that. It's technically still a pickup. Usable, depending on your definition of usable. Poor thing. I'm underneath it and it is horrific. It kind of resembles, you know when they drag an old warship out of the English Channel from like the Spanish Armada or something? It's that bad. It looks like it wasn't just 5 hours that this thing spent in the sea. It looks like it's been there ever since and they've just got it out now. It is brutal under here. The fire was bad, dropping it off that building was bad, but I think that 5 hours in the sea is what has really condemned this vehicle to the state that it's in. Chancdar man Ross at Grampian, he basically said he's had to clear off and shake out a whole load of sand and salt that was just sitting in this vehicle ever since. They clearly didn't think to wash it off. Maybe that was part of it. Keep all the crud on it and just keep the whole experiment going for another 20 years. You know, you see these deep sea diving documentaries where they discover like a Viking longship or something covered in barnacles and crap. That's what this Hilux is like. It is brutal under here. I'm going to put some PPE on just in case some of it comes off, but all these cross members, the actual chassis. Oh, okay. Can you hear that? Yeah, that's some Bristol Channel dropping on me there. The exhaust, on the other hand, that's taken a hammering. It is paper thin from the front and it just stops right here, but then reappears right up here on the chassis leg. So there's a section of exhaust around here completely missing. It goes to a silencer back here, but then nothing out the back. And that's what's so great about this vehicle. The reason it survived so long is because of how simple it all is. The construction of this is so basic, but it works. Nothing really special going on. It's just solid stuff.
By the way, if you want to see more of Izzy, me and the rest of the DRIVETRIBE team, make sure to subscribe to our second channel, More DRIVETRIBE. Broken down Range Rovers, buying dream cars, more of the boss. Go check it out through the link in the description below.
Now to the bit that interests me the most, the mechanicals. Is this bonnet even going to open properly? Oh, she's heavy. Okay, I think I can see what's happening here. There's one hinge on the left here that's doing all the work. This one is just completely bent out of shape. There is the engine of the Hilux. It is 4-cylinder diesel, non-turbo by the looks of it. So again, simplicity. The construction of this vehicle, super simple. Suspension, super simple. And then engine, just creating something where there's as little to go wrong as possible. It's crusty, but do you know what? It's not the worst I've seen. Our £1 engine, our straight six, was arguably in about the same nick as this. But as long as you could hand crank this round and all the pulleys move, I think you'd be okay. It's got some of its belts, but it doesn't look like it's got all of them. A couple of them seem to have popped off. Is that a water pump down there potentially? We did ask when we were planning this trip, can we bring a mechanic? I was going to bring Isaac up with me and see if we could get this thing going. But in this museum, it was deemed far too much of a fire risk in this position. They do have workshops here, and hopefully one day we can come up again and hopefully see this thing firing up. They have got a test track outside. We may even be able to see it driving once again. Comment down below if you want to see that. It took some doing due to how bent the door frames are, but I'm in. What a state the fire has made of the interior of this vehicle. It is, yeah, I don't really want to touch anything because it'll just flake off immediately. I've been allowed in here, but I want to leave it as preserved as possible. For some reason, down in this passenger footwell is part of a drive shaft. Don't know what that's doing there. Is there anything in the glove box? Nope, just sort of ash and melted plastic. The heater controls here are completely mushed. The handles are still there, ready to go, but they've all kind of started to fuse into one. Same with the blowers directly above them, and the dashboard here has started to go kind of like an elephant's skin due to how badly burnt it is. I think the most alarming thing is these braces have been welded in, and yet they have also got to the point of essentially completely corroding off. That's after the car had been in the sea. It's really quite rough in here. I've never been in a burnt out car before. There's probably things I really shouldn't touch for health reasons, but let's try and move over. Lots of nasty crunching sounds. Is this seat gonna support me? I am officially behind the wheel of the Top Gear Hilux. My feet are on the pedals. Every single pedal though is rock solid. There's no giving it at all, especially the brake. It's just giving way. Oh, that brake pedal's lovely now. Listen to that pumping. Fight of my life. This has clearly been left outside. I never went to the Beaulieu exhibition, but I wonder whether a lot of these vehicles were semi-outside because there is some organic material that started to build up on top of the burnt steering wheel. The gear stick is, yeah, I'm not going to touch that. That looks like it could be a bit carcinogenic. Leave that as is. The radio isn't actually that bad. You can still, can I turn the volume? No, he's welded shut. I can click the tune button though. The door is pretty much in line with the right hand side of the steering wheel. I couldn't really grip it there because of how badly the door has caved in. This used to be a window. And that is seriously singed. And I can just, I have to be careful here not to scrag myself, but I can just reach out to thin air because that A-pillar has completely departed from the chat. They really tested it, didn't they? And yet, here it still is, in a museum. And to be honest, the other Top Gear vehicles are here. This is the centerpiece of this whole thing. And yet, they treated it like no other car's ever been treated on the television, maybe the internet since. I feel like I'm gonna need a good long shower, maybe even a bath after this. To understand exactly how these iconic cars ended up in this museum, I grabbed Ross. Ross, you're the director here at the Grampian Transport Museum. How have all of these cars ended up in your museum?
We saw the opportunity to acquire them and promptly put things into motion to try and get a hold of them. And we did, successfully.
Okay, so this was kind of during the off season, right? So during the winter, no one really knew, and these cars were almost being snuck into the museum.
Yeah, under cover of darkness and much subterfuge.
And has there been a great response so far? Have people come almost like a pilgrimage to see these cars?
Oh yes. Opening night and then day one were absolutely mental. It was really good fun. People were so excited to see them, couldn't believe Top Gear's in Afford.
So what is the plan going forward? Because you could see this as a pure museum piece, so almost mucking about with it is kind of sacrilege. Thank you for letting me get in amongst it today. But is this a restoration job? Is it potentially going to get going again? Same with everything else. What is the plan with all these vehicles?
So we've done some remedial and interventive conservation to stop them from getting worse. We do want to see the Hilux run again. We do plan to do it. We will get there eventually, but we need people's support to be able to do it.
Well, that's it. It's going to take some serious cash considering the condition of these vehicles. So how can people help towards getting these vehicles back up and running?
Visit us. Come and see us.
Good.
We want to see you. We love hearing everyone's stories. Come and see us. If you can't visit us, donate. Adopt a vehicle. Show your support. Share everything that we put out.
And is this museum, is it like an independent charity? What kind of is the museum as an overarching thing? How does it function?
Well, we're a self-funding independent charity. We get no local authority or government funding, and we stand on our own 2 feet, and we rely on your visits to support us. So come and see us. We want to see you. We want to hear your stories.
Visit the Grampian Transport Museum. It's really good. Thank you for having us, Rob.
You heard it here.
Never mind Oliver. Is this the most legendary Top Gear car? I think it's got a case for it. Make sure to get the Grampian Motor Museum in the diary for a road trip sometime soon. It's such a great destination. The Top Gear cars and everything else going on. It's an epic place. And we'll leave links in the description below if you want to adopt any of the Top Gear vehicles. It's a great place here. Get road tripping, guys. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I've been Mike, and don't forget to subscribe to DRIVETRIBE. We'll be back one day to get this thing started.